Hi, good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Brooke Berlin. I oversee all of the sales and marketing for TransAfrica here in the States and have been very blessed to be able to travel through West Africa a couple of times now, including this past December. I was lucky to find myself in Senegal with Alberto, who is with us today. He is the founder of TransAfrica and an amazing Saharan explorer. I think he's been traveling through West Africa for nearly 50 years now and has just the most amazing stories to tell and experiences to share. And so today he is going to take us through one of the kind of grand expeditions that covers all of the countries along the coast that are safe to travel with in or through in West Africa, and share a little bit about what that experience is like for your guests when they are with us. So Alberto, please take it away.
Hello, I am Alberto Nicheli. I am speaking from Togo at this moment, and I am born in Italy, in Milan. But when I was young, I started to have a passion for Africa. The first time I traveled alone in Africa was in 1972, and then from 1972 to 1985, I've traveled a lot in West Africa. I have worked on tribal art, traditional artisanal handicraft, and tribal art. And then in 1984, some friends asked me that they want to visit an African country in West Africa. It was Burkina Faso. And they asked to me if I can arrange, I was often in that country, if I can arrange staying there. So I became, without knowing, I became a travel agent. So I fixed for them what to see, what to visit in the country. And then I decided that it was a nice experience to share what I have discovered with other people. And I opened TransAfrica in Togo. Was 1985, and at the beginning it was a one-man show. I was the director, I was the driver, I was everything. Then people will start to discover that Africa was not only the wildlife, but it was the culture, the tribes, the ethnic group, the different initiation, the different rules of the chieftaincies. And West Africa is very, very rich. West Africa is a peculiar part of Africa. Is a part where the main interest is the culture. In Togo, the country where I'm resident, that is a tiny, tiny country. We have 47 ethnic groups. That means 47 different culture, 47 different language or dialect, 47 kind of initiation to become a man or to become a woman, 47 different dances and this. And I discovered that this was interesting. I was lucky also. Togo and Benin is the place of the origin of voodoo. Voodoo is an African religion that arrived to the Americans at the time of the slave trade with the slave. Here are the roots of voodoo. And I discovered that in this country you can see tradition without organize the fake tradition for the tourists. When I arrived here, I had my European mentality, and I was thinking more a village is remote, more is genuine, more is authentic. And I was driving 130 kilometers with the old Land Rover in the forest to find a small, remote village where voodoo was happening. And after I discovered that just near my house, every Sunday night, there was a voodoo ceremony. So voodoo, I was lucky here that voodoo is part of the culture, and voodoo ceremony happen nearly every day. If you have the contact with the right village and you ask, you can know in which day the local gods want to be worshipped. So this pushed me to go more to discover the culture and the people, and I discovered it was large. Then my passion was also the Sahara, and the company grows, and now we operate Togo, Benin, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Conakry, Guinea, Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, and Senegal. These are our operations. Somebody will say, why so many countries? Why I like to scout? I'm not an office person. And when I have prepared a program and that program start to work, I go to find another destination, another program. What happened of the program? We have trained local guides, very, very good local guides. Our main asset are not the vehicle, are not the computer, are the local guides. We have trained for more than 20 years. Every year we train them, and our local guides have a very good cultural level. They have understanding. We train them in anthropology, in African history, in also how to manage the group, how to manage emergency situation, people sick, and everything. We train them, the Red Cross, we asked the Red Cross to train them also in first aid. But they are, what is special of them, they are people who are very, very involved with the local culture. One of our guides is a chief of the village also. And so with this asset, we have grown and grow more. And the company start to have office in Togo. Now we have two main offices, one in Togo, one in Senegal, on the two sides of more or less of West Africa. Roberto already many years ago joined and become our, he design itineraries and take care about the commercial in Europe. And so the company grows more, but we still have the passion to do it for our pleasure, and we want to share our pleasure with real travelers that want to discover West Africa. West Africa, people ask about the situation of the hotel. Today, the situation of the hotel is reasonably acceptable. In the capital, we have 4-star, 5-star hotel, and in the interior of the country, we have 3-star hotels, always clean. We choose the one that are always clean with air condition and private facilities, so they're acceptable. Now, today I will present two expeditions that I still enjoy to lead. That is the one starting from Marrakech, from north of the Sahara, crossing the Sahara to Morocco, the former Spanish Western Sahara, and then to Mauritania and to Senegal. This is today probably the only opportunity to cross the immensity of the Sahara. The other areas have some troubles. This area is still very safe. And also here, our secret is use the local people. We have, I will lead the expedition. In each part of the expedition, I will have a local guide with me that knows the people, that is the media between us and different cultures, like the nomadic tribe. When you arrive at the nomadic camp, you need one of them who speak their language, who explain that we are traveler and we are there to see their life. And probably in the nomad, we say, welcome. They will start to play drums, organize dance for us. So this is more or less our secret. Our real asset are our guides. So I will present this expedition from north of Sahara, crossing all the Sahara and arriving to sub-Saharan Africa, to Dakar in Senegal, and another long expedition, another grand expedition that starts from Dakar in Senegal and cross all West Africa to Benin and made an station also to Nigeria. So we start to Dakar. Dakar have Cape Almadine, Point Almadine, that is the western part of African continent. And the expedition will end in Lagos, that is the capital of the last West African continent, country before Central Africa. Okay, we can start. Okay, the expedition is 23 days to Dakar, and we know that not everybody can travel 23 days, so we offer also the opportunity to join part of the expedition, to join the first part, the central part, or the southern part of the expedition. So people, they can we have different offers that goes from 13 days to 23 days. we start from Marrakech. Marrakech also is the right choice to start. Why? It's easy to arrive in Marrakech. There are a lot of flights to Marrakech. And also it's traditionally the terminal point for the caravan. The caravan going from North Africa to Black Africa or coming from Black Africa to the north, many of them was arriving in Marrakech. So our expedition is a modern, but is a modern caravan. We use four-wheel drive conditioned vehicles, not camels. If not, it will take more than 23 days. And but we are a caravan, so we can start from a caravan terminal. We cross quickly the Atlas Mountain, is the High Atlas, that they are beautiful, but they are more or less visited by a lot of tourists, and we are specialized in area where tourists don't arrive. This is the Berber architecture. And we arrive on the Saro, Jebel Saro. Jebel means mountain, the chain of Saro. That is a less known part of Morocco. Here, we have some nomads living in this area. And what is special of the Saro, apart the landscape, we have a pass at 2,000 meters. What is special of the Saro, we will find some Berber people still living in the caves, like us 1,000 years ago. These people live permanently in the caves. Our local guide knows them, so we will be accepted to spend a few hours to visit the cave. They are shepherds, they have goats, they live off goats mainly there, and they will be happy to invite us in their cave and prepare tea for us. Now we leave the more known part of Morocco. We arrive in what was the former Spanish Sahara that became after the Western Sahara. Today's part of Morocco is not visited at all. This remains of the old Spanish architecture. This was the fort of the border of the French when Morocco was a French protectorate with the Spanish Sahara. And these are our staff. The staff, as I said before, is very, very important. They are people from South Morocco. They become from a tribe that is a nomadic tribe, and they speak the same language of the Western Sahara and of Mauritania. Apart this, they are excellent driver, they are excellent cook, and they are also the media between us and the local tribe. Sometimes we take up also another local tribe in a specific region, and is the person that know personally the nomads and link with the nomads. Often the local guide, was a caravan, is a guide that was guiding camel caravan, knows the desert, like in Italy we say like his pocket, know the desert perfectly while he was walking through the desert, and know the people in the desert perfectly. So will be our media with the nomad. The experience of Sahara, my first love, when I arrived in Sub-Saharan Africa, in Black Africa, I crossed the Sahara, I drive through, and Sahara is my first love. It's an experience that it's difficult to explain, but you cannot not forget. It's a life experience. While you drive out of any track, you decide, like in life, you decide where you're going. You must find, okay, you have a guide, you have a GPS today, but you drive on the virgin. You make your own way. It's important to know how to drive in the sand, to know the people. And sometimes people tell me, but why you go in the desert? There's nobody, it's empty. The reason that it's empty, that when you meet somebody, is an encounter. In a town, in New York, in San Francisco, in Milano, we meet so much people and we don't say hello, we don't see them. In the Sahara, if you see somebody with this camel at 3 miles, he will come to you, you will go to him and talk and interact with the people. So in this empty, the human relationships are stronger than in the common life. Here we are driving, we must climb cross dunes with the cars. We will inflate the tires of the car to don't stick. It's real adventure, but it's beautiful. It's the virgin sand. There are no tracks of other people when you walk, what you let in the sand is your past, where you are is your present, and in front of you is the future, is virgin. You will write your story on the next step. The desert is beautiful. The place where we choose to camp is always carefully chosen, is safe, and also a great scenery. The night, the camp is also an experience. On this expedition, we have only on 23 days, so 22 nights, we are only 4 nights camping, and is a must of the Sahara. In the Sahara, spend the night in the middle of the desert with no the light of the videos, the noise, with the silence, with sometimes the wind that brings some words, and around the fire is a great experience, especially if you have a good cook, if you have comfortable tent, if you have a good table, good quality wine to drink. And our cooks, they prepare, they have French way of cooking. Morocco was a French colony, but also the Moroccan tagine is a great meal. So we will alternate Western food in tin and local fresh food that we buy in the oasis or in the nomadic camp. So choose a good place to stay and to camp is making the group happy and make the experience of share with me and with everybody an experience that you will remember forever. People think that Sahara is sand. If you ask to somebody what is Sahara, what is the imagining, you will say a dune. The sand represents only 30% of the Sahara. The Sahara is the largest and more perfect desert on earth, and only 30% is dunes. You have massive mountains that arrive at 3,000 meters. You have rocks, you have stone desert. After the dunes, the rock and sand is also beautiful. Why, if you are a photographer, I will say you have deep of field. You have the yellow of the sand and then the brown of the rock. Also here we drive nearly out of any track. And we arrive, this is the Pass Tifoujard in Mauritania. And we arrive, we will camp in this area. And in Sahara, okay, it's empty, but there's a lot of presence. These are very, very, very old presents. This is a fossil of a marine creature. So this was there billions of years ago when Sahara was a sea, was an ocean. Then we come very near to us, a few thousand years before. This is a tumulus. People who was living here before Islam built this tumulus. And this is a stone tools, is like a knife, a blade made of silex. This is a pot of clay, of terracotta. Terracotta, the archaeologists say that terracotta is start in this region 14,000 years ago. So more near to our period than to the period of the ocean, but long, long time ago. And it's also a strong feeling when you find something like that, you feel that this is the only witness of people who have lived there and nobody know who was these people, nothing remained of them, but just this piece of pot of stone tools. 5,000 years ago, the Sahara that we see today is 2,000 years old. The camel arrived here 2,000 years ago. If we go back more than 2,000 years, was more green. 5,000 years ago, was possible to cross the Sahara, was like a dry savanna. Was possible to cross the Sahara with the chariot and with the horse. So at that time, there was these people that this rock art looks they are hunting while there's a dog with them, and then there are some antelope, but they have also a shield. Hunters don't use a shield, they are probably hunters and warriors. This is a beautiful also scene of a warrior. And then here in Mauritania, we start to see people. When we see camels, we will see people. But we see the camelier. We find another camelier. We ask him where he's going. He says he's going to his camp. We ask, can we follow? We will bring, in the middle of Sahara, everything is scarce. Just a box of matcha is a good present. If not, they will use to light like the flintlock. So it's easy to bring something to them that they will appreciate, something more can be than a box of matches, but they are also, nothing happened. They are also happy that people join them. And if we arrive in the right way, they will probably start here. These are the women in the camp playing for us. We are accepted. It's not a touristical area. They're happy to see somebody passing. Why after our caravan, when we pass the next caravan, nobody knows. And these are the oases. The oases are the island of the desert. The desert is like a big ocean of sand. And in the desert, you cannot stay. The nomads stay, but then they will move to find other grazing and another well and another well and moving. The only place where you can farm is the oasis. So the oasis is economically the art of the date cultivation, the garden are there. This is a friend of the oasis in Mauritania that is explaining us how is the date cultivation. These are some, they look tomatoes, but they call them African aubergine. And these, often things happen that they are not in the program. Often they are the best one. We are passing through a small village, a adobe village, and we see that there is some people. So we send one of our drivers that speak the language, and there is a baptism. They are making the baptism to a local girl. We ask if we can participate. They say yes, and we participate, enjoy the feast with them. Yeah, we arrive in Cinguetti. Cinguetti is one of the nicest oases in all Sahara. The origin is Cinguetti is the 6th century. The oasis we find now is for the 12th, 13th century. Is a stone town. Cinguetti was one of the main caravan terminal in this area. We have friends there. We will go in their house. They will invite us for tea. And if we are able to interact, is a society where the men stay more with the men and the women with the women. One of our participants has been adopted. They asked to remain with us, stay to us. They put their own dress on her, and was a nice relationship that start with them. This is inside the house in Cinguetti, and Cinguetti was this big caravan terminal, and some big family of caravaneers become very rich and start to become cultivated, and they collect manuscript. So in Cinguetti, the big families have big collection of very, very old manuscript dating from the 11th century to last century. Is their treasure. They don't sell it, they keep it, they pass it from generation to generation. Sometimes they buy also new books, or they collect other manuscripts. There are two collections. The biggest, we visit the biggest, and this collection is the owner of the collection, that is a descendant of a very cultivated family. He has the pleasure to explain the history of his family, of his manuscripts, so it's a pleasure to visit. He will declaim poems of 12th century that he have read on the manuscript. So it's part of the experience. These are the old manuscripts. Some of them, they have some gold dust in the drawers. We leave also Cinguetti, and we drive in direction west. That is the direction of the ocean. And we start to find these shells. These shells, they don't have anymore, I don't know how you call it, the nacre. The skin of the bark of the shell that have the color is gone. These shells, they are not fossils, but they are probably only a few thousand years old. So they lost the color, remain the calcium part. That means we are arriving probably to the ocean. And then another signal that we arrive to the ocean is that we start to find some plants that we don't find usually in the desert. There are some succulenta plants, and this plant live there is a microclimate why never rarely rains there, but there is the breeze from the ocean that come and create a humid climate, and so we have this mini garden of these beautiful succulenta plants, and we arrive on the side of the ocean. These are fishermen. They come also from north of Morocco. They stay months. They live in caves there, and they catch fish every 3 days. There's a Land Rover with the ice that arrive. They buy the ice and they resell the fish to the Land Rover. They go to the towns. Usually we eat it them. We bring a couple of bottles of white wine in our cooler. We have a cooler with a couple of bottles of white wine, and we buy directly the last catch that they have. Now we would like to drive down and drive for miles and miles on the beach. This is important to have the right guide that will find the canyon that we bring from the rocks down to the beach. All this itinerary is an itinerary they stay between water and land, between dunes and waves. So the refrain one of the refrain of this tour is sand and water, like in this photo. And then this pleasure of driving for miles on an empty beach, and arriving to the Naila Lagoon is one of the more beautiful and not known place in the former Western Sahara, in the former Spanish Sahara. Is a interior lagoon open to the ocean. There is a mouth, and then there is this interior salt lagoon, and is blocked by the dunes. After the dunes, there is the ocean. And when we organize this tour only 2 times a year, in the perfect season that is going from north to south in November, and coming from south to north in end of March or April. Why is the perfect season? Why is not hot in the night, and it's no more cold also. Is the perfect season, and it's also the time when the migratory birds come from North Europe, from Ireland, from North Russia, from Scotland, to winter in Africa. So we go south. Is the same way of the migratory birds that fly. We see birds flying in the same direction than us. We stop, we don't see them anymore, we go on, and there is another group, or probably can be the same birds coming. So it's another refrain of the tour, are this bird on the background doing the same direct, going south to escape the winter, or coming back north when the winter is past. And it's beautiful. You have this salt lagoon. We use a local boat. We rent a local boat from the fishermen. This is also a spectacular thing on this area, is that with the high tide, the ocean comes in the desert, and this was a dune, and for a few hours during the high tide become an island. It's spectacular. We calculate the timing of the tide, and we will be there when the dune become an island, and another mountain become an island. Okay, with this last pitch of the desert, we pass to the sub-Saharan Africa, or Black Africa, in Senegal. We still follow the beach, and Senegal have a lot of fishermen village. All the coast from South Morocco to Senegal to Guinea-Bissau is one of the more rich on fishing area. There are fishing boats coming from Japan, from Europe, from nearly everywhere to catch fish there. Mauritania have few inhabitants, let the foreigner come. Morocco, they catch, they have their own pirogue and a big population, they catch their own fish. We go in a village and we see where they built the pirogue, the canoe, how they finish the canoe, how they paint them. And we arrive also in one of the 3, Juge is one of the 3 main migratory birds reserve on Earth. We stop there for a few hours, take a boat and go to, is a lagoon area, visit this lagoon. We met the herders, the Fulani herders. I don't stay on the Fulani, you will see them in other, also in Ivory Coast, in other destinations. And we arrived to Saint Louis. Saint Louis is a beautiful colonial architecture. Saint Louis was the capital of all the French colony in West Africa, the AOF, Afrique Occidentale Française. The first capital was Saint Louis, and remain all these historical buildings. And what we see in Saint Louis, there is a beautiful museum of African photography. African, they are very, very, in modern art, they are very, very good photographer. And this is all the black and white photography. This is a contemporary photography, but it's a very, very interesting museum. We arrived near Dakar, this is the Pink Lake, Le Lac Rose, and is a lake with saturated salt. The water is saturated with salt, and this give some microorganisms, give this color to the lake. We arrived to Dakar. Dakar was also important colonial time. After Saint Louis, the capital of French West Africa. So remains a lot of interesting monuments, the cathedral. And Gorée. Gorée is a small island in front of Dakar was the island where was crammed the slave to be exported from this island. These are all houses that belong before to slave traders. Now this time has passed and become a trendy place. It's just 20 minutes of ferry from Dakar. So the middle class, high class of Dakar have houses there, some European have houses there, is UNESCO protected area, and very touristic. The problem of Gorée is too touristic. We arrive there and then there's somebody who want to sell you something and follow you. So we want to see Dakar, we want to see Gorée, but we don't want to be like the massive tourist. What we do, we go in the afternoon with the last ferry. We go with the last ferry when the last tourists go away, and we stay the night there, and we leave at 11 o'clock when the first ferry of tourists arrive. And we will see all the mass of tourists coming. And in this hour, it's no more the touristic time. You roam around, nobody disturb you. People talk with you without trying to selling something. It's a very, very nice experience also. Yeah? And the night is a beautiful night. Okay, I finished with the first grand expedition. This is a sentence some of my travelers tell to me, and I really love it. They say the travel with TransAfrica is like to be inside the documentary film. And now we start this crossing. It's longer. It's 35 days. The one who start from Dakar, from the Cape, on the western point, Cap d'Almadine, the western point of Africa, and arrive to the last country of West Africa, and cross all this country. Also here, the total expedition is 35 days, but the shortest part is 8 days that you can join the rest of the group. This is the itinerary of the expedition. We stay on the coast, but when it's not just going from a point to another one, it's going also to visit the interesting area inside and coming back on the coast and going back inside. It's not just to arrive to the country. We start for a few kilometers the visit of Dakar with the local transport. They are beautiful. This local is an old Renault that is more than 15 years old. They call them the bush taxis there. And we will make just 10 kilometers on the bush taxi. Don't worry, our four-wheel drive with air condition, they are on the back if it breaks down, or if you are tired and you want to sit in the air condition. But it's amusing experience to try it, and it's not mandatory to do it. In the south of Senegal, there is the monolithic biggest civilization on earth. the Senegayen is the place with the largest quantity of erected stones. That is 1,100 and some erected stones. So we pass through this archaeological place of the past. And we are in Casamance, that is the south of Senegal. Here is no more a Muslim area, we're an animistic area, and they have this beautiful local adobe architecture. They are, we call them impluvium house, why they are fortified houses with, they close all the doors, they have a few doors, they close the door, and the light comes from the roof. They make a fort of the house to be protected from the tribal wars and slave traders. This is a lady still spinning. The house is still inhabited. And what we have discovered, this mask, and Francisca, they will speak about Senegal, discovered this village with the mask. This is, we call it the Black Kumpo, is one of the bush spirit that the mask represents. It's not an enjoyment, the mask is an enjoyment, but is also the spirit are coming. So it's a communion between the village and the spirit. So we will be there the day the mask is dancing. We pass through Gambia. We just spent one night in Gambia. We leave the next day. It's more a massive tourist country with charter arriving. What is famous in Gambia is the bird watching. So we will have a morning of bird watching. And what will change when we are in Gambia is the vegetation. We pass from the dry savanna to the slowly to the forest, and the vegetation becomes gigantic. The trees start to become big, and the vegetation more and more dense. We're arriving in Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau was the former Portuguese Guinea. It's a small country who have a terrible history of civil war, why the Portugal don't want to give the independence. Every West nearly all between 59 and 62. Guinea-Bissau get independence in 76, 77, while the Portuguese decide to don't give the independence. So there was a long civil war against the Portuguese, and when they win, they enter in the Russian helped them to fight the Portuguese, the Cuban, and so they enter in the Soviet world, and this have also makes slow the development. That is bad for us, for them, but for us means that the tradition are still real alive. This is the house of a chief. These are the statue. They have a cult of the ancestor. These are the statue of the ancestor. It's one of the cases where you can see tribal art still in action, not in a museum, not in a collection, but still in its social context. What is more known of Guinea-Bissau is the Bijagos archipelago. Bijagos archipelago is, I believe, the archipelago have more islands in Africa. You have 88 between small and large islands. Only 22 or 23 islands are permanently inhabited. There is beautiful. We will have a speedboat, so we change also the driving always in the car to the boat, and we start the visit with Bolama. Bolama was the Portuguese capital that was abandoned, and this was the governor palace, and now is a ghost town in the forest in the island. And then we leave for the more remote island with our speedboat. And we have a Bijagos man with us, so we will see, he will be happy to bring us to his family. We will see his family. And or in the day or in the night, we will see the sacred mask. This is the Vaca Bruta mask. It's a spectacular mask. It's an initiation when the young boys around 17 or 18 years old, they are very, very strong. So they start to be fighter, but they are not wise. So there's like, the Vaca Bruta means the rough bull. So they are strong like a bull, but they are rough. This is the generation of the warrior that fight but cannot lead. and it's spectacular. Only is a sacred mask, so we cannot ask the time. We will see in which village the mask is coming out, and will be during the day or during the night. Then we pass to the other Guinea, that is called normally just Guinea. That is called Guinea Conakry from the capital. This was the French Guinea, is a larger country. This is the savannah with the termite hills. And we arrive in the Fula village. Fulani is the largest herders tribe in all West Africa, from south of Mauritania and Senegal to Chad is mainly Fula, the savannah. These are the women having a meeting. And we go to the kingdom that is the oldest kingdom of the Fula tribe probably in Africa. From there, they start to conquer, from the Fouta-Jalon mountain, they start to conquer all West Africa, and the rulers in Cameroon, they come from this tribe. They know that they are the same family. They say, we don't have any more the contact, we don't have the cell phone of these people, but the rulers, the Sultan in North Cameroon come here. And one of our drivers, his father is from the village, so he will ask to the chief if we can have a meeting, and they always accept. We bring kola nut. In the Muslim area, you bring a kola nut like a present. We bring the kola nut, and all the elders will sit down with us, and we will be free to ask questions on their life, on the history of their. This is the chief, the king, the chieftain. So they will be the right partner to tell the history of the Fula region of the Fouta-Jalon mountains. From the Fouta-Jalon, we start to drive south. This is a market. The vegetation starts to become more and more intense, and we arrive to the forest. The forest is a place where communication is difficult, and where tradition are still very, very strong, and animist. Also, Islam was not able to enter in the forest, so these people are animist. Guinea give the source of 3 rivers that give the name of 4 countries in West Africa. Niger, they give the name of Nigeria and Niger, and then Gambia, and then Senegal. They all come from this mountain. This is the place where all the river of West Africa, the main river of West Africa, starts. There is no bridges. It's a very remote area. There is this small ferry, manual pulled ferry. Fortunately, is coming. So we wait, and then we cross, and we arrive on the other side, and we start to meet villagers, people, women, fishing. These are women fishing. Is the dry season. The rains, we don't go in the rain season where it's too much, and the car cannot pass in the rain season. And during the dry season, when the pound of water starts to shrink, the fish become concentrated, and these are the women fishing in the pounds of water. In this area also, they are the last here, and on the border of Ivory Coast, they are the last liana bridges. Liana bridges is what I call a tribal technology, which technology normally is a word that is related to the Western world. No, technology is typical of the Western. Also, African tribes, they have developed their own technology, and this bridge is already something not easy to do. The technology is kept secret. They say that they are the spirit. Only the initiate and the mask enter in the forest to build a new bridge, and nobody can enter if it's not initiated. And then they say that in the morning they find the bridge. So the technology is kept secret, like our technology also. Our technology cannot be exported, we keep it secret. So it's an African way, but it's real parallel to our ways and interesting. All the bridge is built with natural material from the forest. There is not a needle, there is not a piece of plastic, there is not a rope. All the The net of the bridge is made within barks. The rest is tied with liana and wood. So nothing comes from outside the forest. It's totally eco-technological tribal bridge. We cross the bridge and we arrive in area where not many people arrive. These are the birdmen. This is an initiation, and these people are believed to pass through the forest like a bird and nobody can see. When there was tribal war and a village was surrounded by the enemy, they need to send somebody, a messenger, to another village of friends to ask help, but nobody can pass the line of the enemy. The only you can fly, you can pass like a bird is the birdman. They dance, and also here sometimes is in the day, sometimes is in a village, sometimes is in another village, sometimes is in the day, and sometimes in the night. The two are spectacular. Can be, if we are lucky, we see in the day, in the night. It's totally different. In the day to take picture is easier. In the night with the light of the fire is beautiful. But at least, or in the day or in the night, we will see it. Last time I was, the village as usual was, they say, no, the spirit don't agree that these days you are here, we can dance. So we find another village on a mountain, and they say that was the first time that they see foreigner coming to the village. Wildlife is not the main reason to come in West Africa, but there are some specific things to see. There are chimps. This is area in Guinea near Ivory Coast border in the forest. The local people, the local tribe believe that the chimps is the reincarnation of the spirit of the ancestors. So nobody will hunt the chimps, is hunting the grandfather spirit. So, and opposite, the chimps can enter in the village, steal the bananas, and they are welcome. The ancestors is the grandfather with the bananas. So the chimps are very, not domestic, but if you go near, they don't run away. So, and here there is also Kyoto University that is studying these primates. The chimp is probably one of the primates more near to human. They make very primitive tools, the chimps to use. And the Kyoto, they have ranger who follow the family of chimps. So we arrive there, and with the radio, we know where they are. It would be easy to see them. And they are not, nobody have hunted them in the last century, so they don't run away immediately when we arrive, and can be, we will see them for 10, 20 minutes taking photo. Sierra Leone was famous and infamous for the diamonds. The diamonds have bring a terrible civil war. This was the first university in West Africa. The war have destroyed, but today the war is totally past. The country is doing better and better, is growing, the economy is growing, the people are happy, they believe in future. And the capital, Freetown, is a beautiful African town. In Africa, normally we don't come for the town, but Freetown is special. Also, it's on the hills. It's not a flat town. You go up and down on the hills. You have this beautiful Creole and colonial architecture. This is the museum with a lot of, this mask is a Bundu mask. We will see this mask dancing. These are the old ones in the museum. And the name of Freetown came from the fact that the people are the freed slave, the first freed slave by the British Empire. They don't have slave in the UK, but they have slave in the islands, in the empire. When they freed them, they send them back to Africa, and they arrive here. And if you can read, this was the first hospital rescued from slavery. Was a hospital and asylum for rescued from slavery. So it's interesting. And then here and in Liberia, you have a special ethnic group that you find only in this part of Africa, so important and so big, are the Creole. The Creole, they are the descendant of the slave who came back. They are often mestizo, and they are the people who build the nation, who start the economy. We'll go on the Creole when we are in Liberia. This is a Creole church. And the coast, the beaches of Sierra Leone are known to be between the nicest beach and the nicest. We go to Banana Island. We will spend the night in Banana Island. We will go with the boat. And then we will the boat will bring us on the other side of the island. And who want to walk and walk for 1 or 2 hours in the forest, who want to continue with the boat will turn around on the other side of the island. There are very small villages. We have somebody from the village where we start with us, that knows everybody. And these are poles of there was electricity here during the British colonial time, but the poles remain, beautiful poles remain. We leave the coast area and we go in the inland. This is the Poro initiation, is the male initiation. This is the front and the back of the mask. This is animistic totally, but Islam started to become powerful. So on the back of the mask, there's this piece of wood and we write some sentence, some surah of the Quran. So you mix, is a syncretic, you mix the spirit, traditional animistic power with the power also of the imported religion. Bundo, ecco, the mask has a male attribute nearly everywhere in West Africa. In the Dogon, in many countries, the woman cannot come near them. When the mask come out, the woman must go away. Here you have an exception. The Bundo female society have his own mask. These are masks that dance for the woman, is secret who is inside the mask, but are the women inside the mask, and they participate to all the ritual of initiation of the girls. This is the chief of the woman of the village, like the queen of the village with the mask. Now, this is one of the villages of the diamond diggers, the people who find diamonds. Also there, we try to go in a smooth way, why it's better that people will not understand that we go to see the diamond digger. People will believe we are diamond smuggler. We come there to buy diamonds. So we do it in a very soft way, and we explain them that we don't want to buy, we bring a present, and we will be with them, and they will show us how they wash the sand and what they find before the diamond, why they must send a black small sand. After the black small sand can be, they find the diamond. They will show all the procedure of washing the diamonds. And then another contact we have, there is a foreign trader who have the license to buy diamonds. We will go to his house, and he is in a good mood. He will show us what he have buy in the last days. We are going in the direction of Liberia. Liberia is famous for the rubber plantation. We will drive for 1 hour to rubber plantations and to the border of Liberia. The border of Liberia is, we cross the Mano River that divide Sierra Leone and Liberia. And also there no tourists arrive, so the arrival of foreigner is always welcomed by the people. We have the encounter with the local transport. And these are, on the right is a man that is going on the palm tree to tape palm wine. On the left is going in the forest to collect some roots or some herbal medicine, probably. The roads, we need a four-wheel drive to pass, but it's always comfortable. The cars are new. They are all Toyota cars. We use mainly Toyota cars, all with air condition, and the driver can manage any situation. And we arrived to the capital, Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. What I was telling about Sierra Leone is more the Creole ethnic group is only 5% of the population. The Creole are the people coming from the slaves, the descendants of the slaves. They are only 5% of the population, but the Creole language is the language spoken by 85% of the population. And the Creole are the one who have built the nation. Liberia is not a colony, have never been a colony. It's the first country in Africa who had the black president. in 1850 or 70, there was already a black president in this country, and was a Creole. The Creole are the builder of the nation, the Creole are the builder of the economy, and the Creole control also 90% of the economy. So I think I have many sides. The Creole culture is very related with the Freemason, Masonry, the Freemason. The Freemason is a big, big power. We, through some Mason in Togo, we get in touch with the Freemason there. And if we are lucky, we are received by the, how you call the high priest, the great master of the Masonry, of the Freemason of Liberia. And he will accept that we entered, we visit this palace, and also the more secretive with all the mystical meaning of the Masonry. And I was speaking with the great master of the Masonry, and I was telling him, oh, you are real powerful people. He say, no, we are not powerful people. Yes, the president is a Freemason, most of the parliament, sometimes we must tell them how to make the laws. The parliament, many are Freemason. The founder of the country, his name is Roberts. My family name is Roberts. Oh no, we are not so powerful in this country. It's interesting for me. Discovering Africa is not only the mask, like this one, the mask, the dance is important. I love them, I collect them, but it's to see all the different sides of Africa. Also the actual, the history, the politics, the actual. I think when the belief of TransAfrica, if you travel with us, we want, and when you go back, you have learned something. You are more rich in culture. You have spent your time and your money, but you go back with something that you have understand of the country. Sure, in 2 weeks you cannot understand everything, but we try to show you all the different, not just the touristical fact, but all the different fact of the dynamic of the local society. Ivory Coast is known also for the mask, fantastic and terrific mask. This is a Dan mask. The shape, this is a Dan mask also. The shape of the mask is very elegant, very, very fine. It's considered one of the more beautiful masks in Africa for beauty. And the Dan have the cult of beauty. And then we see the Dan, we will see the Guernsey. The Guernsey is not the beautiful, it's the power, it's the beast, it's the spirit of the forest. It is not a human, it's not an ancestor, it's a dangerous, powerful spirit. You must be able with sacrifice to deal and make friend with this spirit, and is so powerful that if you have it against, is a disaster. If you have it on your side through the proper ceremony, is a very good thing for the village. But they're real scary. These are the masks that we see dancing. These are again a dance, a man on the left, a man mask, a man Yakuba. On the right, there is a ceremony that nearly have disappeared. In this area is the jongleur, is an initiation of very, very young girls. And they throw the girl go to the initiation when it's very young. At puberty, she is released. When she becomes a woman, she will not be strong enough. She must be like a boy, like a warrior. And they make acrobatic. They will put the girl on the arms and turn the girl. The girl will remain rigid and turn, and will catch it on the other side. And the girl is not afraid. They make acrobatic things. And also, what happens sometimes with the tourists say, these girls, they are not happy. We try to talk with them to make them smile, and then don't smile. They have a taboo. They cannot show the teeth. They cannot smile. They cannot show the teeth. So don't go near them and try to say, oh, nice. You can go near them, but don't make her smile. Also, if you do it in good faith, why? If she smiles, she spoiled the initiation, she needs to restart 2 years of initiation. This is the reason also these things happen only in the deep forest, no more in the towns. We arrive in Ghana. Ghana is from Ivory Coast. We pass to Ghana. Ghana is big ceremonies, the Ashanti. We drive the coast. You have already seen, I think, our presentation on a tour in Ghana, Togo, Benin. These are widows. You can see that they are widows while they have shaved the hair, and they are also initiated, and they have in the calabash, the one on our left, they have cowrie. Cowrie shell are the money. Before the arriving of us, of the European, the money was cowrie shell. So every still traditionally things, if you want to pay something to the fetish, it's better to use cowrie shell, is the ancestor money than the modern currency. This is one of the harbor, Elmina. Elmina Castle is the oldest and the largest castle in Africa. Was built by the Portuguese in 1419 and something, and start to be a castle for bunkering the boat going to around Africa to India, to China. And then the guy who built this castle, the captain who bring all the equipment to build the castle was Cristoforo Colombo. And they built this more, the castle had grown, was smaller at the beginning, and they built this castle to go to China, turning around the Cape, and was very, very long. This is the same who invented the idea to make a shortcut to India and discover America. So this castle is related also to the European, the African, and the American history. Ghana is the place where there's more than 50 castles and forts. We are in Accra. These are coffins. Coffins is something that came in fashion in the 20s to make this coffin like sculpture. They are in main museum in Paris, in New York, these coffins today. But somebody who have been probably a taxi driver, he will be happy to make his last journey on a Mercedes. Somebody who was strong, he will make his last journey in a lion. Somebody who was a fisherman in a lobster. So this is the part of Africa. We arrive in Togo, Benin. Togo, Benin is the place, I was saying, the origin of voodoo is in Togo and Benin, and is still very, very practiced. This in Benin is Gambier. Gambier is the largest town on steel. It's composed by different villages, but they are all on steels. We visit the central one, and total is, I don't remember, more than 20,000 inhabitants on steel. It's in Africa, the biggest concentration on steels of people. Voodoo is still very, very practiced. This is a part of initiation. This is another voodoo ceremony. These are voodoo dancers. This is voodoo cuckoo. These people, they can hurt themselves with knife, and they have no pains during the dance. This is against Coco Voodoo, again the voodoo. And then the tour ends in Cotonou. Next country will be Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that is difficult. Is a challenging country. So we don't know what will be the situation in Nigeria when we make the tour. So we want to make the tour until Cotonou and then propose an extension of 3 days to Lagos. But it's an extension. So the tour will end always with no problem, and for safety, and in Cotonou, and then depends on the situation, we can make these 3 days in Nigeria. The first day, Lagos is a town. The Lagos and the suburb is 21 million of inhabitants. Nigeria is 397 million, nearly 400 million of inhabitants. Is enormous. Is something also scaring. The traffic to arrive to Lagos is a jam. You can spend 5-6 hours in the traffic to enter in Lagos. Sometimes not so safe. So we decide we make 30 kilometers. We use Loga, a local company. local car, not car from Togo, not car from another country. We make 30 kilometers, then the car go empty to Lagos. We arrive in Badagry, and from Badagry we rent a speedboat. Lagos is on the lagoon, and we arrive directly in the center of town, bypassing the traffic and everything. We arrive in the center of town. Will be lunchtime, lunch in a restaurant, and then we go to visit a museum. Nigeria give between the masterpiece of African art, like I think everybody knows about the Ife terracotta, the Benin bronze, they come from here, so there will be an interesting visit the museum. And then Lagos is the contemporary Africa. You go for Lagos for the up-to-date Africa. And in the evening, we will go to a music club that is the New African Shrine. Is managed by this Femi Kuti, that is the son of Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is I think many of you knows about Fela Kuti, is the father of Afrobeat and become a worldwide musician. Then he died. Then the police was also socially engaged, considered revolutionary. So one time the military destroyed his music club. The son rebuilt is the new African Shrine, and is still the place. The place to be in Lagos is the African Shrine. Okay, let's finish. I want to say something that apart the great expedition, I have to introduce that we have a tour only of Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, so the area with the forest, with the chieftaincy is very, very interesting. It's a new tour. I will not show it, why it's the same thing that you have seen in the Grand Traversée of West Africa, but it's a tour that is not an expedition, and is challenging. We have drives in the forest, off-road, but every night is in a hotel. And also in the inland, there are new hotel, 3-star, 4-star hotel with air condition and totally new. Everything is working in the hotel. So is totally outside of the beaten track. I made the first experimental tour here for 16 days, and since 16 days we haven't seen one tourist. We was the only tourist in the area, and it's a very, very rich tour. Is not an expedition, but is a regular for normal fitted people tour. Also, the great expedition from Dakar to Cotonou and Lagos, there is no camping. All the night are in good hotel. I will show some of the hotel. In Marrakech, we have a choice. This is the Mumounia or the Novotel. The Novotel is a 4-star. The Mumounia is a top star. The two they have a good balance between the quality and the price. The quality and the price are different, but the two are otherwise is up to you to choose what. And this is in Ouarzazate. Is the best hotel, the Berber Palace. This is the inside of the Berber Palace in Ouarzazate. This is in Dakhla, where there is the dunes, the water, the ocean that cover the dune. This is a group of bungalow in Dakhla. Is where the King of Morocco goes when he's in Dakhla. Then we have also a 3-star hotel to choose. And this is in Mauritania, Nouakchott. The Maraba Hotel is a nice hotel, all in the local style. This is the rooms with modern photography and paint. This is a hotel that I love, is in Saint Louis, the old French colonial capital of West Africa. Is l'Hôtel de la Poste. Is built in 1850, so it's a historical building, and is the Post Hotel where the Aeropostale pilot was staying. Saint-Exupéry, the writer of the Petit Prince, was a pilot of the Aeropostale, so pilots come here and they want to sleep in Saint-Exupéry rooms in this hotel. Is an old hotel, but the rooms are reasonable and the suites are very good. This is in Bissau. Sheiba is the best hotel in Bissau. It's nice. It's totally new. This is one of my preferred hotels on the Bijagos Island. Is the Pontanshaka, is French managed by a lady that have lived in Senegal and Guinea-Bissau a long time, and is on this island. They are very nice and comfortable bungalows, a swimming pool, the beach, is a nice place to relax and to enjoy local cuisine, French cuisine, or local cuisine with the French touch. This is a 4-star hotel in Abidjan, and this is the same. And this is the Old Hotel Ivoire, is a 5-star hotel. Sofitel have restored this hotel, is the historical hotel in Abidjan, is also comfortable. This we are in Ghana. This is Lumoon. This is they have some bungalow, very, very trendy, very nice. It's like a boutique hotel, very, very well managed also. This is Kempinski in Accra, is the best, is one of the best choice in Accra. These are the rooms, they have rooms and suite like in Kempinski. And this is La Maison Rouge in Cotonou, is a boutique hotel, is very, very nice, very, very well managed also. The vehicles will always be Toyota Land Cruiser. Okay, this is the photograph. And this the end. Okay, thank you for following me for all this. I think we have made more or less 10,000 kilometers. I hope you are not too tired. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions for you, Alberto. So first, I was nodding my head as you were showing some of those photos of the hotels because I've been lucky enough to stay at many of them or do site inspections of many of them. So one of the questions then is, when guests sign up for this tour, they can then choose a higher price point 5-star hotel or a lower price point 4-star or 3-star hotel, and you just kind of work the group so that people are picked up and dropped off depending on where it is that they're staying?
Yes, we have two choices, the middle and the high. Not the low in Africa is too low. So we will have in the capital, in the big town, the group, the price will be made on a hotel a 4-star, and then we can make an upgrade for the 5-star. We will arriving at the hotel. One car will go to the 4-star and one car will go to the 5-star. And a guide will take care of the group of the 4-star, and one guide or myself of the group of the 5-star, of the 5 stars. So, and then the culture, the sitting will be the same. We will have this option in the capital, in the big town. In the rest, we will use always the best hotel available. In the interior is the best hotel available. That is always a hotel that is clean, often new, and with air condition and private facilities. This is always granted.
Can you talk a little bit about the age requirements and the physical health requirements for people to join the tours so that they can do everything that everyone is doing?
There is no age requirement. Our clientele who discover the culture often is not younger clientele. The average of our clientele is from 30, a few from 35, a few from 75 or 80s, but between 35 and 75 years old. If the person is in a good shape, is enough. It's not a physical, it's intense. What makes intense the tour, that you see so many things that they are so different, that the brain work a lot. Is intense. You have drives, the roads sometimes are bad, sometimes the drives are long. We always try to make an architecture. A good tour is like a building. I believe a good inventor of tour is an architect. So we go from the forest to the savannah, from the savannah to the desert, from one place to the other. And also when there is a long day driving, the next days must be a resting day. Sometimes this area is less interesting, and then there are many interesting things in another area. So there is always a balance. It's not days of driving or days of resting. So you have the two.
And I know that
So it is fitted for everybody. Families also, most of our clients are single in majority, then we have some couples, sometimes families. If the kids are very young, I suggest to ask a FIT tour. Why? Sometimes they will be bored. Culture is interesting, but a certain age. Children want to more interact. We can make tour with the children, but then we will interact more. We stop in the village and see what the children of the village are doing and play with the children. We know somebody, the father, and he will call his sons, and the children will go with his son to see their friends and do the children. Then we go to visit the school. We will bring something for the teacher, some pens to the school. And but we need to design it. It's possible, we need to design it for the children, for the kids.
That's actually interesting when you say, you know, we'll bring something for the teacher, or when you were talking about going to certain communities, you'll bring the cowrie shells or you'll bring something. So there was a question about how tipping works, gratuities. That's always a question, especially from the North American market. So how does that work on a tour and throughout West Africa?
So the tipping of the hotel is nice to tip. In the hotel, the people are happy to be tipped. The salary are not so high, so to recognize them and their service with the tip is a good thing. We can, on request, include the tipping. Why sometimes people say, well, but we don't know the value of the local money, so it's difficult to tip. We can make a calculation and make a good tip and give the tip to the people of the hotel, to the drivers, to this, ourselves in front of the clients. The guide will give it in front of the clients to them, thanks, and he knows what is a good tip, and he knows who need a tip. This for the staff, the hotel, and this. In the village, we suggest to don't tip like that, don't tip around. Why? These people are very poor. We come from a very opulent society. These people see our society at the television, so they imagine that everything is free. We have the machine to produce the money. We must not have to give this idea, but it's not true. Also in our country, the money costs, we work to have it. So giving money around is not good. If not, the children, you give the money to the children, the next give the money to the children, the third one, the children will ask some money. And what we do, we give it to the chief, we give it to the teacher, we buy some like this to write, and we give it to the teacher for the class. When we visit a chief, a traditional chief, it's mandatory to bring a present. It will be impolite. An African who visit a chief will present a present. So we will present a present to the traditional chieftaincy, and will be the colonnade, and can be some money in the colonnade. Why? This is the tradition, but today also is a modern time when we put some money, not hidden, but inside, and we offer to the chief. But please not start to give money around. We will produce beggar of the future. An African will develop when the African will start to count on themselves to develop. If they count that it's always somebody from outside, he will never be free, and he will never work very well. It's good to help them. Goodwill is good, but we canalize the present, the gift to the right, to the authority, to the chief, to the father of the family, to the teacher.
So sometimes when people travel for culture, and specifically for photography of cultures, they pay for those photos. And so how then do you help people understand when and where it's okay to take photos? And are you then taking care of paying the chief or the community for people to take photos?
Yes, we asked before. We asked, usually the clients will arrive and start to take the camera out, pam, 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 and shot immediately photo. And I will tell them, you want to know these people and know what you are photographing, or you want to photograph before and know what you have photographed after? Everybody will say, no, we want to see. So we ask them the permission to take photo. Sometimes we pay, something is sacred, the photo is something that is magic, is a reproduction. So to photograph a shrine, sometimes we must offer a sacrifice, and they will make a sacrifice of food to the shrine when we leave, and this. But we usually in the village, we arrange if there is a payment to do while we enter in a price. If it's in the market with 100 people, you don't pay. You take the photo, or you pay 100 people. No, but you take a photo, it's a public place, nobody can complain. But if we ask to somebody to enter in his house and we take photo, it's a service. So we know the house, we know the owner, and we pay. Is not the traveler who pay. We not know how much to pay. We pay is included in the price. Then if a specific photographer want, instead to visit one house of this or 2 hours of this ethnic group, he want to visit 5, 6, we make an arrangement. He will pay something more, and we will pay. Or if he's a real photographer, professional photographer, we will discuss a FIT tour for him, and then we will arrange what is the budget that we will give for the to tip, or he will pay and we will assist him in the paying, or we will pay for him. This is his own choice.
And then also you showed lots of photos of the hotels. What are the tents like for when we are camping in the desert? Are they Meru style, like East Africa, or a little bit down?
No, there is only a place in South Morocco. I haven't showed the photo. This is a fixed camp with nice. Now, there are 2 places. One in Morocco with fixed tent, and then there are the toilet, the shower, the restaurant in a big Bedouin tent, and one in north of Senegal near Mauritania. There are large Mauritanian tents with the bed, with the shower inside, with the everything, all the facility inside the tent. If not, when we traveled only the Sahara crossing expedition, on 23 days, we have 4 nights of camping. It's a mobile camp. We bring our own tent. We put on the tent. They are igloo tent. They're not so big. They are igloo tent. We put them on. And then the tent is not on the sand. We have a big carpet, a big net. So you will be isolated from the sand by the net. And you have in front like a veranda where you can leave the shoes. You can leave outside. We have the mattress and the light sleeping. We asked to bring a light sleeping bag. It's not too cold. Or if after we ask, we will find a blanket or a sleeping bag ourselves based on his own request.
And also, you're covering a lot of different countries. So obviously people are going to be needing to get a lot of different visas before arriving. How are the border crossings? How does that kind of work and take place?
It's not a border crossing like Canada to US or like the European community where there's no more borders. And this border crossing takes time, takes a couple of hours. There is no aggressivity, they are friendly. The more difficult border, we have make friend with somebody that work there and we say to the chief of the immigration and the custom, we are coming, and we pay this person, and he will know already there's this group of American or Italian or French people who is coming. They will do it. For example, on the Sahara crossing, you don't need visa. Morocco don't, for American citizens, for many nationalities, don't need visa. Mauritania, we arrange and we have the visa at the border. It takes 2 hours. But 2 hours is always better than take the passport, send it to Washington, to Mauritanian embassy. And years ago was known to don't reply, the passport remain there. You hope 2 or 3 days, it remain 1 month, it's not come back, you need the passport. So we fix everything for the visa that will cost the equivalent of 80 euro. They take also dollars for us. And then, okay, it's just they are friendly. It's not fast, it's Africa. Take it one by one, they take the photo on the computer and then they issue the visa and no bribe, nothing. We pay a person who take care, a facilitator for the visa. Senegal also have opened to many countries, including US, Canada, European community, many countries, no more visa. You're welcome in the country. And Guinea-Bissau, we need the visa, but we have a good relationship with, there is a consulate in the last town, Ziguinchor, the last town of Senegal before Guinea-Bissau. There is a honorary consul. We are making arrangement with him. And if it's during the working days, we pay the visa. And if it's during the weekend, we pay an extra fee, and he will be so kind, and he will come open the small embassy, consular office for us, and give us the visa. We need just to prevent him. So I will ask who don't have the visa of Guinea-Bissau, and also the price will be very reasonable. Also during the weekend, we just, this kind is very, very kind and open the visa for us. Then the other country, if you cross from Dakar to Cotonou to Guinea, there are more visa problem. Guinea-Conakry, you must do the visa before. Guinea-Bissau, we do it at the border. Sierra Leone, now they want to open the country. I was saying after the civil war is doing better and better. One of the signs, they give the visa at the border. You arrive at the border, you pay $100, and tack, the chief of the immigration is there, and he's so happy to take the $100 and give you the visa. It takes always 1 hour. It's not, he rides slowly, tack, tack, but they are very, very, very friendly. They give a receipt for the $100, not to take for his pocket. And then Liberia, we need a visa. We are dealing, they say we can arrange, but we need to check it more. Until now, you need the visa of Liberia. And Ivory Coast, we need the visa, while the only e-visa of Ivory Coast is just if you arrive at the airport. So you need the visa for Ivory Coast, but they give the visa. There is no, it's not a country that don't give the visa. Then Ghana, you need the visa. Ghana is the more complicated. You need to make the visa where you are resident. Mm-hmm. They need to check who you are. Or what they say is that they need to check who you are. So you must make the visa. You cannot go in another Ghana embassy in another country. You must do it where you are resident. So remember to make at least the visa of Ghana, you must have it. Then Togo, you make the visa at the border. Benin, you make e-visa very easily, also 1 or 2 days before arriving, and then you pass. Nigeria, again, you need to make the visa at the country where you're resident. And Nigeria and Ghana, we will send a letter of invitation of a Nigerian or a Ghanaian travel company. We work in pool with them to be legal, to be accepted in the country. So they will send us, we will send, or they will send directly to you the letter of invitation. With the letter of invitation, you go to the embassy and you get the visa. There is something, Dakar is one of the main capital of West Africa. You have all the embassy. In Dakar, you can make the visa of all these countries. But it takes at least a few days. You must arrive, if you have time, arrive. Dakar is a beautiful country with a lot of local and foreign and French cuisine, a lot of place with music, restaurant with music. So time in Dakar is nice to spend time in Dakar.
Beautiful.
And more or less, if we...
So there's amazing art in Dakar.
Yeah, there's a lot of shopping to do. And the average will be, if we prepare it before, we send already the photocopy of the passport and we have a good timing, you can have a visa, 2 visas a day. Well, usually they ask 3 days for a visa, but if we talk with the ambassador, we know them, they know what we are doing, that we are genuine tourists. We are not asking a touristic visa to remain in the country or something like that. We show our itinerary where we are going, and they know that we get out from the country. And we prepare it before. We can have a visa in the morning and another visa in the afternoon of this country. So 2 visa days, well prepared. Remember, no, Saturday, Sunday, they are closed. Not the small embassy, is Monsieur l'Ambassadeur, will not come to open the embassy for us. But taking away Saturday, Sunday, and the holiday of Senegal and the holiday of the country of origin. Like Guinea visa, you must not go Saturday and Sunday. Christmas, Ramadan, while they are Christian and Muslim, so they make the two festivals, the Independence Day of Senegal, and the Independence Day of Guinea-Conakry. Ecco, apart these days, it's better to check case by case. It's possible to have the visa in the car. If not, you do it at home.
That was our last question. So I want to thank you very much for your time, Alberto, and thank everyone who joined us. And we will get the recording up on YouTube shortly. And then next week, we will be joined with Francisca out of the Dakar office to cover Senegal, the Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau in more detail. A couple of countries I got to experience last year, and they're absolutely amazing. So thank you, everyone, very much for your time.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, everybody.
Ciao.
Bye. Ciao. Bye.